Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that might hurt at first, but it will heal you in the end. Some people will disrespect you not because of who you are, but because of who they think you are. They look at the surface and assume they know your story, your limits, your value. But what they see is filtered through the cracks of their own insecurity. Don't confuse someone's inability to see your worth with your lack of it. See, people disrespect what they don't understand. They mock what intimidates them. They ignore what they cannot control. And sometimes, brace yourself, they disrespect you because your presence reminds them of their own laziness, their own fear, their own compromise. But here's the good news: respect is not something you wait for, it's something you walk in. You don't need their approval to be powerful. You don't need their applause to be anointed. You don't need their permission to rise. Your value was never assigned by them, so it can't be diminished by them. So the next time someone talks down to you, ignores you, mocks you, underestimates you, don't panic. Don't shrink. Don't lash out. Just remember, they see the shell, but God built the substance. Let their disrespect remind you of your purpose. Let it fuel your fire. And above all, never allow someone's low opinion of you to become your ceiling. You are not called to prove yourself to people who have already made up their minds. You are called to elevate, to rise, to build, to shine with or without their respect, because the one who called you already respects the masterpiece he made. 10 key points from the speech. People disrespect what they don't understand. Their view of you is filtered through their own brokenness. Disrespect is often a reflection of their insecurity, not your inadequacy. You don't need validation to be valuable. Your worth is not based on their opinion. Let their disrespect fuel your growth, not feed your bitterness. Don't shrink to make others comfortable with your greatness. You're not called to convince people, you're called to complete your purpose. Their rejection is often a redirection toward greater things. Walk in the respect God has already given you, don't wait for theirs. Would you like a short poem, Bible reference, or quote to go with this speech as a closer? Certainly. Here's a long form, deeply expressive expansion of *** key point 1 ** from your speech. People disrespect what they don't understand. That's a truth that doesn't always land softly, because most of us were raised to believe that if we do good, if we love well, if we show up for others, they'll treat us with honor. But life doesn't always follow that script. The painful reality is this: many times when you bring something into a room that people can't define, they label it as worthless. It's not because you lack value. It's because they lack vision. People disrespect what they can't explain because your uniqueness threatens their normal. Your presence disturbs the patterns they've grown comfortable in. When you walk in confidence and carry peace, it disrupts their chaos. When you refuse to compromise, it exposes the places where they've settled. And instead of asking, how can I learn from you? They say, who do you think you are? That's how misunderstanding becomes mockery. They don't know the nights you cried. They don't know the battles you've survived. They don't know the prayers you whispered when nobody was watching. But because they can't see the roots, they think you have no depth. They think your strength is arrogance. They think your clarity is pride. They see the fruit, but they didn't see the fight it took to grow it. So they minimize you. That's why people sometimes disrespect the visionary, because vision confuses people who are still blind to their own potential. When you talk about faith, they think you're delusional. When you speak with boldness, they think you're full of yourself. But you're not full of yourself, you're full of what God placed inside you. And because they can't understand that, they push you away. But listen, that's not your fault to fix. You were never designed to fit into shallow places. You weren't created to be easily understood. You were built with mystery, with layers, with depth. And sometimes people who live on the surface will never know how to treat someone like you, someone who was made for deep waters. Don't internalize the disrespect. Don't let it rewrite your identity. Just know that being misunderstood isn't a curse. It's often a sign that you carry something rare, something sacred, something heavy. And when people can't comprehend the weight you carry, they treat it like it's light. Let them talk, let them question, let them underestimate, because while they're busy trying to define you, God is busy refining you. People disrespect what they don't understand, but just because they don't understand you now doesn't mean they won't need your voice later. So stay faithful, stay humble, stay unshakable, because eventually the same mouths that disrespected you will be the ones whispering, "I wish I had listened." Would you like me to expand any of the other key points in this same style? Absolutely. Here is a powerful, emotionally layered expansion of key point 2 from your speech. They see you through the cracks of their own brokenness. And because of that, they don't see you clearly, they see a distorted version of you, one that's been bent, blurred, and shaped by their own pain, insecurity, and past experiences. You could be speaking truth, but they hear threat. You could be offering peace, but they assume pride. You could be walking in purpose, but they call it pretending. Why? Because your light is shining through their shattered lens. They are not judging you for who you are, they're reacting to you through the filter of what they've been through. It's like handing a pair of broken glasses to someone and expecting them to read a book. The words are all there, but the cracks distort everything. The story gets lost in the blur. That's how people look at you when their vision is still clouded by betrayal, by failure, by shame, or even by comparison. They may see confidence and interpret it as arrogance, not because you're arrogant, but because they've never seen confidence that didn't mask ego. They may see kindness and call it weakness, not because you're weak, but because they've only ever known kindness that came with a price. They may see your boundaries and call them walls, not because you're cold, but because they've never learned the difference between access and intimacy. When people are unhealed, they bleed on the innocent. And when people are insecure, they attack the secure. They assume your strength is a weapon when really, it's a shield you built from surviving the very battles they never saw. So when they talk about you, judge you, question your motives, or pull away without reason, remember, it's not always about you. It's about the mirror you hold up to their life. You remind them of what they haven't confronted. You reflect the version of themselves they're not ready to become. They don't see your heart, they see their hurt. They don't hear your truth, they hear their trauma echoing back at them. That's why it's dangerous to let people's treatment of you become your identity. Because if you're not careful, their cracked perspective can cause you to doubt the whole picture. You'll start asking did I do something wrong? Should I be less bold? Should I shrink myself to make them more comfortable? No. Don't shrink, don't second guess. Don't mold yourself into a version that fits their broken mirror. You are not responsible for healing their vision, but you are responsible for protecting your identity from their distortion. You have to know who you are even when they mislabel you. You have to stand firm in your character even when their perception tries to shake it. You have to remind yourself, they don't see me, they see through their cracks. And that's okay. Because in time, truth always clears the fog, and when it does, they'll finally realize you weren't the problem. You were just the light they weren't ready to look into yet. Let me know if you'd like me to move on to key point 3. Certainly, here's a full-length, passionate expansion of key point 3 from your speech. Disrespect is often a reflection of their insecurity, not your inadequacy. You need to let that truth settle deep in your spirit. Because too many of us carry the weight of disrespect like it's a mirror, when it's really just a projection. When people don't know who they are, they start attacking who you are. When they feel small, they do everything they can to make you feel smaller. When they feel unseen, they try to dim your light, not because you're too bright, but because they've gotten used to living in shadows. That's why disrespect is rarely about you. It's about the internal war going on inside them. C, insecure people operate from fear. Fear that they'll be forgotten. Fear that they'll be outshined. Fear that your strength will expose their weakness. So instead of clapping for you, they criticize you. Instead of celebrating you, they question you. Instead of encouraging you, they compete with you. And when that doesn't work, they'll downplay your efforts, dismiss your growth, and devalue your presence just to feel like they've gained back a sense of control. But here's what you have to understand. Asterisk someone else's insecurity is not your emergency. Asterisk you are not called to fix what they refuse to confront. You are not called to play small just to make their ego feel safe. You are not called to live under their ceiling just because they're afraid to rise with you. If they disrespect you, it's often because your life makes them uncomfortable with their stagnation. Your progress forces them to look at their own lack of movement. Your discipline reminds them of their distractions. Your confidence exposes their hesitation, and instead of being inspired, they become irritated. Instead of being challenged, they feel threatened. And here's where it gets dangerous. If you're not grounded in your identity, their insecurity will start to shape your self-image. You'll start asking the wrong questions. Asterisk, maybe I asterisk am asterisk too much. Asterisk asterisk, maybe I don't belong here. Asterisk asterisk, maybe they're right about me. Asterisk, no, they're not right. They're just rattled. They're not offering insight, they're projecting fear. They're not giving feedback, they're masking their inadequacy in criticism. Don't absorb the disrespect. Asterisk, observe asterisk it. Watch how it reveals more about asterisk than it ever could about asterisk you. Asterisk insecure people will twist your strength into selfishness. They'll turn your boundaries into betrayal. They'll paint your elevation as arrogance because they can't tell the difference between humility and power when they've never had either. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't shrink back. Look deeper, ask yourself asterisk, is this about me or about their fear of what I represent? Asterisk because most of the time, the disrespect isn't born from your inadequacy. It's their defense mechanism against feeling irrelevant. And listen, you don't need to respond to every wound that tries to bleed on you. You just need to stay rooted in who you are and keep walking like someone who knows. Asterisk, I don't need your respect to be respected. Asterisk asterisk, I don't need your approval to be appointed. Asterisk asterisk, I don't need your comfort to complete my calling. Asterisk because disrespect that comes from insecurity can only touch those who forget where their value truly comes from. And you didn't forget. You asterisk know asterisk who you are, and no amount of shade can cancel your shine. Ready for me to expand key point 4? Certainly. Here's a deep and empowering expansion of asterisk key point 4 asterisk from your speech. You don't need validation to be valuable. Let that sink in, because too many people are living trapped in the illusion that someone else's recognition is the same as personal worth. That if people don't clap, if they don't approve, if they don't say well done, then it must not be good. It must not be enough. Asterisk you asterisk must not be enough. But that's a lie, a loud, convincing, culturally acceptable lie. Value is not assigned by applause. Value is not determined by Instagram likes, hallway compliments, or text replies. Value doesn't rise and fall based on how well people treat you. Value is asterisk inherent. Asterisk it is asterisk intrinsic. Asterisk it was stitched into you the moment breath entered your lungs. You were valuable before you were visible. You were valuable before anyone knew your name. You were valuable when you were hidden, overlooked, misunderstood, and underestimated. But we've been trained to crave validation like it's oxygen. We post something and check every 5 minutes to see who responded. We walk into rooms and instantly scan for approval. We perform, produce, impress, and exhaust ourselves just to hear "good job," as if that's what makes it count. But the truth is asterisk it already counted. Asterisk it already mattered. You already mattered. You don't need their nod to make your assignment real. You don't need their support to step into your calling. You don't need their permission to carry out what's already been placed in your heart. Let me tell you why that's important, because people are inconsistent. One day they'll cheer, the next day they'll criticize. One moment they're with you, the next they're gone. And if your identity is built on their approval, you will collapse the moment they pull it back. So don't build your worth on validation, build it on asterisk truth, asterisk on purpose, on the unchanging foundation that says, even if nobody else sees it, God saw it, and that's enough. When you understand this, when it truly hits you that you don't need validation to be valuable, you walk differently. You stop begging for attention. You stop bending for acceptance. You stop auditioning for belonging in rooms that were never meant to hold your greatness. You start showing up with confidence, not arrogance but quiet, unshakable confidence that says, asterisk, I know who I am and your recognition doesn't make or break that. Asterisk, you learn to encourage yourself. You learn to affirm yourself. You learn to stand in front of the mirror and say, even if nobody notices me today, I'm still walking in purpose. I'm still making progress. I'm still valuable. And let me be real with you, sometimes the validation doesn't come because you're ahead of your time. Sometimes people can't clap for what they don't comprehend. Sometimes they stay silent, not because you're not worthy, but because they're not ready, and that's okay. You weren't born to be approved. You were born to asterisk be, asterisk to be whole, to be called, to be chosen, to be excellent with or without the crowd. So stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to believe in yourself. You don't need the pat on the back. You need the fire in your belly. You need the unshakable truth in your soul that declares, asterisk, I am valuable because I was made with intention. Asterisk, asterisk, I matter, even in the silence. Asterisk, asterisk, I belong, even when I'm walking alone. Asterisk, because value doesn't beg, it simply asterisk is. Asterisk, and once you know that, no amount of silence, shade, or slander can steal your shine.